Awesome. All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Katrina. I get the absolute pleasure of launching these beautiful girls' business tonight. Now, I've been doing the same business for about 2.5 years. I really reluctantly got involved. It was not what I imagined myself falling in love with, but I was taking the product myself for a while as a customer. I absolutely loved it once I had it inside my body and it started working its magic. And I realized that there was a real big need for it. More people needed to know about what we're doing. Not only that as well, but when I got to know more about the business side of it, I realized that there was so much that it could help with, especially with the people around me. So basically what we're going to talk about tonight is just a little bit about why the girls are getting started. It's so chilled out. Please don't feel like it's going to be anything pressureful. What we really want is just for you guys to really understand why the girls are doing it, so that if there comes any need in your life where you think, hey, I might give it a go, or if you know somebody, because really how they're going to get their business off the ground is through word of mouth and the support of the people around them. I know myself it was really important too, not necessarily to get, my friends and family involved, but just to have them understand why I was so passionate about it. It was quite left field for me. So becoming, a work online person, I really did need the people around me to understand my why so that they could get behind me and help out. So when I came in 2.5 years ago, I was working 2 traditional jobs. And I'm also a mum too. So I had 2 very small children and I went through a breakup, which was pretty shitty, not gonna lie. And I found myself working back to back to try and recover from being a single mum now financially. And I found it really difficult and I got myself into a spot where I had quite a bit of depression and anxiety. I knew my friend was selling these beautiful Juice Plus capsules online and I thought I'd give it a go before I kind of went and got into that prescription-filled path. Now, I absolutely loved it. I was one of the lucky ones where it literally worked straight away. Within 3 or 4 days, I was sleeping better. I was waking up feeling refreshed. And within 2 weeks of being on the products, I actually felt almost 70% better in myself. It was really nice, I think, just to have the energy, because if anybody's ever suffered depression, you know that it gets quite difficult to even want to do things during the day. So just to have the energy to get up and play with my girls and things like that really did help me. And coming from a family of people that suffered a lot with mental illness, I really did think that, maybe I'd jump on the business side just so that I could order for them, so that I could help them get it as well. The beauty of it is that I fell way deeper than I even thought I would, because on the side as well, I was also a spiritual coach. So I was helping a lot of people get through issues that they were having during their day. One of the biggest things that I found was that people were going to jobs that weren't serving them. They were feeling like they were trapped in something that was limiting them just because they needed to pay bills at the end of the week. And if I'm honest, that was 100% me as well. So when this business was shown and I could see that there was the potential to work online, to build something that, would be self-sufficient one day, where I could actually go and live off a residual income, was kind of like a fairy tale. But I worked really hard at it. And now 2.5 years in, that's what I do. I've retired myself and I have an amazing team of people who we all work together and we want to go out there and share what it is that we do. So Georgia and Kat are launching tonight. They've got involved over the last couple of weeks and I know they're doing some really cool stuff. Both of them have already smashed their way through their first promotion. So we're going to hear a little bit about the program, the products, and a little bit more about how the business runs too, just to kind of help you guys feel at ease around what it is that they're doing. So first of all, I'm going to cover a little bit about the products, and feel free to shoot up any questions, because I know when I first kind of heard all this, a lot of it went over my head. I didn't quite understand how it worked, but that's my job. I really want to help you guys see the beauty of it, because I wish I kind of had been a little bit more open-minded a few years ago, and I might not have got myself into such a health crisis that I was. So basically Juice Plus, their main mission, they've been around for 30 years, and their main mission is to encourage people to eat more real food, eat more fruits, veggies and the berries. They're very holistic, and they've done a lot of studies around the impact that those things have inside of our body. Because we live quite high-paced lifestyles these days, we're relying on a lot of packaged food. We're getting a lot of chemicals through our skin and ingested by default, because there's so many of them on everything that we do these days, whatever we ingest, it's a highly toxic environment. So they've gone right back to basics. And what they did is they created this beautiful little capsule, and inside it, it has the live enzymes of fruit, veggies, and berries. So you'll see them here. I'm sure they've popped up on your Facebook, or your beautiful friends have talked a little bit about them. Now, these guys, they might be, they might not be for you. That's not really what we're here for. We just want you guys to understand what it is that the product does, because there's quite a lot of misconceptions out there. Now, they take the fruit, the veggies, and the berries when they're totally peak ripened. And to me, I never understood the importance of that. But a lot of the stuff that we get these days from the supermarket is picked really, really, it's nowhere near ripe. It's very green. And it's taken 2 places and gas ripened with chemicals and lights. Now, that's really cool for the supermarkets because it means it lasts longer on the shelf and they get more of a product turnover. But unfortunately for our body, it's not great because we're lacking a lot of the nutrients that we need to turn our cells on optimally. Now, I know that sounds like a whole lot of crazy stuff, but if you look at everybody around you these days, you really do understand that we're getting sicker. There's a lot of other things out there now that we're dealing with. A lot of us are in pain. A lot of us are dealing with things like fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases, cancer, arthritis, all sorts of things like that that are from inflammation inside of our body because we're just not getting the nutrition that we need. So when I first noticed this, I just thought that I would get them for the energy because I understood basically if you were taking these guys every day, you're adding about 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries into your body. So for me, I thought, well, it's basically like a big juice. If I know I'm getting 1 or 2 big juices a day, I'm going to be feeling better. I'm going to be a bit more refreshed. I'm probably going to have more energy. So for me, that was all I stood them as. I had no idea that they would not fix, but really help my depression and really take my health to the next level. But when I think about it, I was not hitting the 5 and 3 that we think we need every day. And most of us don't. The scary statistic that only 5% of Australians actually get the serves of fruit and veggies that they need, and less than 1% of children. So it's not getting better, which is really kind of scary. I have 2 little girls myself, and I know that that kind of ratio is quite scary. So the fact of this product, there's a very big need for it. It's very convenient. It's very easy for us to take. If I show you them, do I have any in here? Oh, I don't. They're all empty, these ones. They're a tiny little capsule, and you'll see inside there. So when they take that fruit juice, they actually extract it right down. It's a big pulp. It's full of the skin, the seeds, the stem, all that good stuff with the nutrients. They turn it into a big slushy, and then as they take it down, they freeze dry it and extract the water and the sugar out of it. So all that you're left with is the tiny little powdered enzymes of the really good stuff. Now, a lot of the times when we're having, say 3 serves of fruit, which is the recommended daily serves, that there's a very high portion of that is just water. So if you think of like a watermelon, almost 80% of a watermelon is purely water rather than nutrients. So when you're taking Juice Plus, you're just getting the nutrients. So to me, that made a lot of sense. And I knew that it was directly going into my body because it is a whole food. So when you turn over the label of these little guys, you can actually read everything on there. It's just food. So if I read it, it's going to say apple, pineapple, peach, prune, orange, cranberry, papaya, beetroot, cherry, dates, everything like that I can read. It's nothing scientific, nothing crazy, because it's literally TGA approved as a whole food. So exactly what you're getting in the real food, you're getting in here, and there's no added chemicals or any nasties like that. Even when these are ripened and grown, they're used without any herbicides, pesticides, GMO, anything like that. It's purely in the natural form. So I knew that I wasn't eating what I should. I knew that I wasn't eating organic. I knew that what I was getting was just lucky because it was whenever I was sitting down to eat at the table, I wasn't actually making an effort to put my nutrition first. So I gave it a shot, absolutely loved it. But the coolest thing for me, I had really good results, but obviously I've got my 2 little girls as well. And when I ordered as an adult, I got these little ones for free. Now, they're exactly the same. So they're the same beautiful nutrition and they're organic. They're free from additives. But what they do is they added them with a little bit of the fruit juice and they made them into a little gummy apple. They're very cute and they taste delicious. And the beauty of this is that it gets into your children absolutely free. So whenever you order, the kids can get them as well. Now, these are the veggie ones. My kids eat these. I put them in a glass container because the broccoli on the front scares them. But if they're in a glass container, they actually just think they're lollies. And it says carrot, cabbage, kale, broccoli, beetroot, parsley, spinach, garlic, all sorts of things like that that they're probably not going to eat every day without an argument. So to get these free and get them into my kid was just amazing. And I did notice a difference straight away. So within the first 3 weeks with those guys, they were eating better. So the beauty of our products is it's not a Band-Aid. We actually want to turn the cells on. So because we quite often starve them of the nutrients, a lot of our body tends to shut down because this is way off track, but it made sense to me. So I'm going to explain it to you guys. Way back in the days when we weren't surplus full of all sorts of food, what our bodies used to do is we used to go into drought season and into fruition season. So when we were there, when everything was right, when there was fruit and everything was abundantly available to us, we used to be able to turn our body, we used to eat, and it would turn on some of the cells so that we could start to, kind of work at an optimal level. Then what would happen is we'd stock up on all of that and we'd go through quite a drought season where our body would utilize that and it would just turn on what it needed to in order to function and survive until we could go and find more crops. Now, what we do these days is we have so much food, we're overfed, but we're undernourished. So our cells are still in a drought season because they're not getting that flush of good stuff in. So what Juice Plus does is getting all that vitamins in every single day, it turns a lot of them on again and we actually start to kind of achieve a better level of health. So that's why we see some really cool things. We see some really cool things like people's skin start to clear up. They start to alleviate a lot of like arthritic pain. I know my brother has carpal tunnel and that has really disappeared as well. They lose weight. They do all sorts of things because their body starts to work the way it's meant to because we're actually getting good nutrition. The same with kids. They start to crave better food. They start to sleep better. And we actually have the largest kids health study in the world here with Juice Plus, and it's got some really cool results. So it shows that up to 80% of them miss fewer days at school because they're generally healthier. They don't spend as much time as at the doctor or on antibiotics. So if you've got little ones that are sick, that's an amazing thing. I know, especially if you've got to go to work, so you can't spend time off with them all the time. And then also their general behavior, their digestive system, different things like that turn on a lot better when they've got a lot of nutrition inside their body. So there's definitely a massive need for it. The other thing that I noticed about the product and the program was that it's not just designed to have it Band-Aid. There's an amazing program behind it that actually teaches you how to cook better, how to alleviate chemicals, how to do all that kind of stuff so that you can take your family's health to the next level. I know for me, I just had no idea where to start. I had no idea between all of the flours, all of the milks, everything like that, but they give you a really good idea of some easy, simple things to alternate and substitute so that you can get more goodness into your body. The other products that they have, they're not a catalog company. It's just basically the micronutrients that work on a cellular level and these little guys that work on a macro level. So they kind of give you the fuel to keep going. They're the clean protein. And it's just all plant-based again. You're getting some more goodness into your body. These guys have like alfalfa sprout, broccoli, pea protein, radish, alfalfa, all sorts of things that you'd never get on your plate. But they're really easy to take because, again, they've gone down into a powdered form and you can add them into your smoothies, your baking. You can put them on oats. You can put them in yogurt, whatever it is. But it's just there to bridge the gap of what we're not getting as a society. So the products absolutely made sense. I love them. My kids love them, which made it even easier for me to stand behind. And they work. We have over 30 peer-reviewed studies done of them on some of the most prestigious universities in the world, which is really cool. You cannot buy those kind of results. And they show some amazing things. These little berries, so you're getting 11 different berries inside your body every day. And someone who takes these actually has 4 times the amount of antibodies inside their blood than someone who doesn't. So that's amazing when you're going through things like the flu season, you're going through all sorts of different things. If you work in someone like retail, education, childcare, something like that where you're around a lot of people, to boost up your immune system is an amazing thing, especially being able to do it naturally is something that's really powerful. So I absolutely loved the whole program, everything around it. But the stories to me was what kept me going. I loved seeing, because one of my close friends was a representative, I loved seeing the stories that she was constantly posting on Facebook about what her friends were being able to achieve by taking it. I knew I'd got some really cool results, but I'm going to shoot on over because I'd love Georgia. Can I put you up first on spot? Can you share a little bit about what you've noticed? Because I know you've had a really cool journey and you work in education, right?
Yeah, yep. So I started mid-year, so about 3-4 months ago. I do lower primary, and I was really impressed that this term I had one sick day where I couldn't go to work, whereas generally, put this way, I was down to about 2 sick days left in my bank. So constantly sick, didn't matter time of the term, just always feeling really crappy and got everything. I also have rheumatoid arthritis, and I've noticed a huge improvement in like my finger joints and things are not constantly sore and aching. And my migraines have started to get better and not as often. So winning all round.
That's so cool. And you're still basically a baby on the products. Hey, you're in your first couple of months?
Yeah, yep. So I've done my first 4 months and I've just gotten the second order through. So
oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's awesome, darling. I can't wait to see what else happens.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. Now I'm going to shoot on over. Let's see if she's got her camera off. I was going to get your beautiful friend Stacey to share, but I think she's off. What about her beautiful sister? Where's she at? I can't see you, Kat. They must be having issues with their internet over there. That's no good. Tans, what about you? Would you like to share your story? I just can't see you, Stace. Tans, I'll shoot on over to you, honey. Do you want to share a little bit about what you've noticed since you've been on them? You've got an awesome story too. Are you there, Tans?
Having that day had a lot of time passed. So I guess
Tans, can you hear me?
oh, yeah, sorry.
You are.
I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. I think my internet's doing something dodgy.
Yeah.
Can you share your product story? Because I love it.
Sure. So it's just a bit noisy here because I've got teenagers here, which is kind of why it was off.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. So my Maya, honey, can you just take it into the kitchen because I'm on, please. Hang on, I'm going downstairs. Hopefully my internet won't play up.
You're all right. You just tell us while you're going, darling. You're not that loud.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'll just sit down here. So I started on the product, it was 13 months ago because I was pretty sick. So I had an autoimmune disorder called interstitial cystitis for 4 years. And I had tried so many different things. My doctor pretty much just handed me a piece of paper with all these foods on it and said, don't eat these and you'll be fine, you'll manage it. And I was told that it was a chronic illness and there's no way that I'd ever get better. And I took one look at that list and noticed that most of it was fruits and veggies. And I thought there is no way that I'm going to not be eating fruits and veggies and that I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. So I decided I was going to heal it. So I spent hundreds of dollars every month trying to heal it on different supplements and treatments and all sorts. And then after about a couple of years, or maybe even longer than that, still having chronic bladder pain every day, I discovered that I had leaky gut and adrenal fatigue. And this meant that it just added to the pain. So I also was really tired. I was like a zombie every day. I struggled to get out of bed in the morning and felt like I hadn't actually slept at all when I got up in the morning. So I was pretty much in survival mode. My hair was falling out. My skin was a mess. So I had just rashes all over my body. And then I had constant thrush and UTIs and cold sores. So I was a bit of a mess. I remember also having like issues with my digestion. Obviously I had leaky gut, so there was lots of foods I couldn't eat, and found out I was allergic to gluten. And I also had pain in my joints and my hands. So the doctor had said something about, oh, it's just a bit of arthritis, it'll be fine. I was like, in my early 40s, so I was like, arthritis? Nah. So, but I'd had it for years and years. And so anyway, when I fell upon this product, watching a friend who was really sick, I watched her get better. And so I was like, I've got to try this, because I know that obviously what I was doing was not working. Something had to change. And for me, fruits and veggies made absolute sense. And when I saw her own journey with, not really knowing what was wrong, but a lot of pain, and then getting well on it, I thought, wow, this could absolutely work for me. So after 2 days on the product, my energy was amazing. I like jumping out of bed in the morning going, wow, I haven't felt this good in years. And getting to the end of my day, not needing to have a nana nap, not feeling like I was going to fall asleep. And it was 11 o'clock at night, I remember the first few days, and I'm going, oh, I better take myself off to bed. And then after 4 days, the cold sore on my lip had healed completely. And then 2 weeks, the chronic pain had gone, and it's never come back in my bladder. And then my hair, by 2 months in, my hair had stopped falling out and it was growing back. Excuse my regrowth. So I was pretty much, it's 13 months on, and I have none of those symptoms anymore. In fact, now it's been 5 months on the Omegas as well as the premiums now. And no, in fact, it's been longer than that. It's been about 9 months or something that I've been on the Omegas, that I added them to, and the pain in my knuckles is completely gone. It was so bad that even knocking on doors, it was extremely painful. So I'm pretty happy, and it saved my life, really. It really has saved my life. So I'll forever be grateful and never be off it.
Oh, that was so worth it, Taz. That was so worth your juggle through the house of teenagers just to hear that.
I'm so sorry. I had this feeling that you were going to spotlight me, and I thought, nah. And then when you did, I was like, oh my God, I'm spotlighted. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Sorry, me, just go with the flow. You did so well. That's awesome. And I love having you. I know Annie's your friend who got you into it. Her journey was amazing too, but yours is just next level. It's so good. And I love just hearing stories like that. It kind of made me realize that more people needed to know about this, and that even though I was really reluctant about becoming part of the business, I think it was a good move, because more people needed to know that there's actually a product out there that works. It does what it's meant to, and it's so simple because it's just fruits, veggies, and berries. And there was so much more stuff. My mum has lupus, which it's been amazing, another autoimmune disease, but it's been absolutely amazing. My dad suffers from depression just like I did, and he's next level. He's got some different things that he needs to deal with as well, but he takes this and it really does help his energy. Now, it's not a magic pill. It's not some magic goji berry that's hidden in the Amazon. It's literally just fruits, veggies, and berries, but we know we don't get enough of them. So the product perfectly makes sense. And because we can read it, we can recognize it as food. When we put it inside our body recognizes it straight away. A lot of the time when we try and take multivitamins and things like that from the chemist, they're isolated and they're synthetically made in a lab, which is cool. It's got the best intentions for it, but unfortunately it's not bioavailable to our body, and we excrete it most of the time. So this is really cool because it gets in your body in 3 to 5 minutes, which no other vitamin or anything like that possibly can. So that's why you can see really cool results in 1 or 2 days, but even better, you'll notice the results over time. Sometimes if people have quite a toxic lifestyle, maybe they haven't really been focusing on the diet, they might be a heavy drinker, or they might smoke or do something else like that that is, part of their lifestyle that they'd like to change. This is a really cool catalyst, because what it will do is it will start to push that stuff out and replace it with good stuff. And then because you're doing that, and you can learn more about how to eat and how to guide yourself through it, and there's a whole community there to support you, it is a really good catalyst for change. So we see some amazing things. Now, we are definitely not a weight loss supplement or anything like that, but we do also have shreds. So it's like a nice natural way to be able to lose weight by eating better food, rather than going on some crazy diet full of deprivation and everything like that. We have these cool shreds that talk to you about actually getting fit and healthy and happy with your body in a really nice natural way. So there's lots of value in the program. There's some amazing things. And it definitely kind of got me excited about sitting behind it and showing people what it was that this product could do. So we're going to switch gears a little bit now and talk a bit more about the business behind it. So it's kind of organic when you've got a product that works, especially if you've had really good results yourself, like Georgia and Kat have. It kind of makes it, really authentic, that you want to go out there and say, hey, it's the real deal. Like, it works. Get involved. You never know what it could do for you, but the cool part is that it's just natural, so it's going to do something, and all the science behind it will tell you that it does. So in the business, it's a really cool thing. It's totally different to what you're regularly used to, and I know at the start that kind of scared me a little bit. I, like I said, had 2 traditional businesses, but in order to get those businesses, I had to work retail to save up. So my goals was, I'm a professional dancer, so I wanted to have a dance studio. And that was something that I was so excited to do, but I knew that I was going to have to save up about $12,000 in order to do it. So what I did was I worked retail, and I actually stayed there for 7 years because I kind of fell in the trap. Has anybody else ever got in a job and you stay there way too long just because it kind of becomes habit? This was that for me. So I stayed down here. I started off as like a little checkout chick, and it was an attraction here at Surface, and it was cool. I liked it because it got me out of the house. It was fun. It was a cool place to work. But slowly but surely after the years, it kind of ate at my soul. And I'm a really hard worker. So I worked hard, and I managed to get to the manager position in my first couple of years. Unfortunately, what that meant, though, is the positions got really small at the top. So I had to step over my friends in order to get there. And it caused a lot of, tension. And I didn't like that, because I liked going to work with these people every day. But unfortunately, no matter how hard I worked, everything else up here was already taken by family members. It was a family-run business. So the CEO, the board of directors, the senior manager, and everything like that was already taken up. So even if I was to stay there for another 7 years, I was never going to get another pay increase. I was kind of capped. And I realized that I was spending so much time here, and I was swapping my time for a dollar figure, which was kind of okay, because that was what I got told to do out of school. And I knew that eventually I was going to become the CEO of my business. Unfortunately, though, when I did become the CEO of my business, I had to keep this model running in the background because it still wasn't making enough money for me to live off. But I realized that even though the system worked, these guys made me money, and I kind of told them what to do. That's how it worked, and it's probably how it works in a lot of traditional jobs. There's somebody at the top that kind of dictates what happens. The shitty thing is about this is that you literally have to ask them to do everything. So you have to put in pay slips. You have to do everything. It's basically like they own you. And I kind of felt like that as well, but I felt like it from the other way around. When I was the CEO, I felt like I had to tell everybody what to do all the time. And it created a lot of tension. I became the boss. And I didn't like that because I felt like it took me away from the people that I liked in this model. Everything that was coming up to me as well was going straight back out in overhead. So if anybody on here's ever had a traditional business, you'll kind of understand what I mean about that. I was paying wages, I was paying electricity, I was paying rent, utilities, insurance, all that kind of stuff. And I had 2 little girls at home. So I was doing this all the time to try and get money on the table, but it was going out. So I was doing this model during the day, this model at night, and it just wasn't really working for me. Because of that, I fell into the trap. We were so financially backwards. I was living in the red, living week to week, every week, and it almost got to the stage where I didn't even want to walk out to the mailbox because there'd be a bill in there that I knew we couldn't pay. And it was just a really shitty time of life. And I'm really, really thankful because Lauren, my girlfriend, shared this business with me. And I was so reluctant to hear about it. I was so reluctant at the start because I'd never done anything like this. I'd never worked online. And to be honest, my dad, when I was growing up, he used to try so much crap. Like, he'd get sucked into everything. So I was always really weary of what internet kind of work was, whatever, something else was. And I had this ideology that somebody always was above you and you were working really hard to make them rich. It's crazy because that's what most of us do anyway. We turn up every day for a job that we don't really like, but we do it because we know we need to pay the bills, but it makes someone else a lot more wealthy than it does us. In this model, the online work model, especially here with Juice Plus, it's a lot different. There's not one pinnacle position. In fact, our position at the top is called NMD, basically like your own CEO, but it's unlimited. So there's not ever just one person or one fat cat sitting above you, but everybody has to start off down the bottom. And I really like that because in this industry with a nutritional product that's very holistic, we have a lot of healthcare professionals work with us. So a lot of doctors, a lot of physiotherapists, a lot of dietitians, naturopaths, things like that, they work heavily with this product because it's all natural. I was a dancer. I was really good at doing pirouettes, knew nothing about health whatsoever except that fruits and veggies were good for you. But I really liked that I started down the bottom. And the cool thing about it is that there's a few spots along the way that you can either stop at or continue up. So in this, I've met some ladies who come in and they're just a stay-at-home mum who wants to earn an extra, $300 to $500 a month so that they can cover bills. And that's cool because I've got a system that can help them. I don't have to push them any further if that's what they want. It's their business, so I just help them how to do it. They can come in and they can want to out-earn their money that they earn at their job. Pardon me. So perhaps they want to earn $4,000 a month so that they can, stay at home with the kids rather than have to go to shifts every day. And I've got a system that can show them how to do that too. I came in, I seen my friend, she was already an NMD and she was earning a 6-figure income. And I was gearing up to 30 and I was barely earning $400 a week by the time everything got out of the way. So to see her live such a life of choice, I was like, I want that. Just teach me what you did. So I wanted to become an NMD. Now, I love this model because literally it works around whatever you do. Because it's up to you, you don't have to ask somebody to do anything. You always have someone there to help because the only way that you can become an NMD is reaching down and helping to teach other people. That's why I jump on here and host these and host the trainings and things like that because I want people to understand how to do it because it's so damn empowering. But it's absolutely no pressure. And I loved that too because I just wanted to help somebody where they're at. I didn't want to make them feel like I was breathing down their neck or anything like I was at the dance studio. So it was an amazing model. I actually fit it in just an hour every day in and amongst all my other stuff because I knew that if I stayed consistent at it, I could build it over time. And the other concern that I have at the start that really I wish I didn't because it held me back for so long. But I kind of understood that with this model, it was about helping other people. The more people that you could help, the more people that you could talk to, the bigger your business got. That's basically what I thought. But when I was looking from the outside, I assumed that everybody that I'd have to be talking to would have to be my friends, my family. And that kind of made me feel a little bit yucky because I didn't want to be that person. But I gave this business a good go and I did it a little bit differently. I did a launch just like this and I was really blessed because 3 of the people who jumped on to support me actually said, you know what, it makes sense. I'd love to give it a go. I'm kind of tired of my job. So Miranda was one of those ladies and Jess was another lady. Now, the cool thing about that is that Miranda was actually doing family daycare at the time. She didn't like it because she felt like she was constantly putting other children above her own. And Jess was a stay-at-home mum. She just had her little bubby and she didn't want to rush back from work. Then I met another beautiful lady online, Jo. Now, we'd never met before, but we struck up conversation in one of the groups. And she was doing family daycare just like Miranda, but she really wanted to travel and she could never see how that was going to happen because she was stuck in a job that needed her at home. And when I told her that I'd just started up something online, she was like, tell me more. So Jo absolutely loved it. She did a launch and she actually met a few people as well. And then Miranda introduced her two best friends, Danny and Danny, surprisingly. Now, they met people. Miranda's met other people. Jess actually only introduced it to 2, and she was okay to stop at that part because she just wanted to earn an extra couple of $100 a month. Now, the beauty of this is that they found customers as well. And quickly, within a couple of weeks, actually, I had a team of almost 20 people. And it blew my mind because I'd only known 2 of them and I'd had a really short conversation with Jo. And pretty much that's kind of what we call the popcorn effect. But how crazy it gets is that over the 2 years that I've been involved, so Stace actually I used to teach her daughter at my dancing. That's how we know each other. And now Stace knows Georgia, and she's also Kat's sister. So the beauty of it is that she introduces people, and these girls are going to find people to help as well. And it just kind of goes crazy like this. Now, over the 2.5 years, I am like absolute, I guess, example of the fact that you don't need to know many people in this business at all, because we now have over 600 people in our team. And that's basically from me just talking to these 2 people originally. It's kind of boomed out from that as I grew skills and as I got to know it. And 98% of my team I never met. They're all just people that I've talked to on social media, who have talked to other people, who have talked to other people. And these days, when you look at it, we have instant platform to so many people just through a post. So it's no longer the days of headhunting your friends and anything like that. There's so many people out there that are either whinging about their health or their wealth. It's the 2 areas that everybody needs help with. And we have an amazing product and program that can help with the health. And then we have the really cool income making side behind the business as well. But I'm going to shoot on over now and we'll hear a little story from my beautiful friend, Lozzie. Where's she? Here she is. Now, we got a really cool story, Lozzie. She's one of the people that I did actually know before this business. We were friends when we were like 10 and we reconnected again on Facebook. She was living on the other side of the world and she now does this business full time. So I'm going to shoot on over and let her share her story. And it's all yours, darling.
Awesome. Yeah. So about, almost this time last year, I was living over in London. So I'm originally from the Gold Coast in Australia where I am now. But I was over in London this time last year. I ended up there because I made a decision a couple of years ago to just drop everything and go traveling. I'm very free-spirited, so all I really wanted to do was go and travel the world. So I worked really hard back home and saved up and went and did that for as long as I could until I ran out of money. So I went and settled in London and thought I'd live there for a bit and work and travel. I was working full-time in a PR job over there, so I thought I'm going to come to London, I'm going to make it really big in my PR career, I'm going to make lots of money, and then I'll go off and travel whenever I want to. But as it was, I sort of got back stuck into that daily grind routine, working full time. And after going and traveling solo and being really free spirited for 6 months, that started to really wear me down because that wasn't really what I wanted for my life. I realized that being someone that was really driven, if I really wanted to reach my goals, I had to make work my entire life. So I was really just working only to squeeze in a little bit of travel. I think we all know the feeling of having to put in an application form to just have that little bit of holiday a year. So I wanted to go further and do more, but also be able to build something for myself that I was really proud of, because I still was a very driven person that wanted to be a high achiever. But I was finding in my job that even when I was working hard and when I was coming up with these really cool ideas, that I just wasn't being recognized for my efforts. So I got to a point last year where I just thought I need to figure out a way to work for myself. There's this amazing potential to work online. I was actually working with a lot of startup businesses and entrepreneurs at the time, and I saw these amazing people that were working just from their laptops from anywhere in the world, and I just thought there's got to be a way that I can do this that really fits for me. And another thing that was really on my mind too is I really wanted to be doing something that was really aligned with my values as well, that really sort of gave me a bit more purpose with what I'm doing. I've really got this big heart that wants to help people. So I was really just trying to find my niche in that kind of area. I had all of my own ideas of ways that I could start my own freelance work. But when I sort of went down the avenue of how I could launch my own business, I just hit roadblocks, because to quit a full-time job and just start your own business, it's quite expensive. And the ideas I had where I just wanted to be this free-spirited person who helps people, it just it seemed that that wasn't a good way to make enough money to live the life I wanted to live. So I felt a little bit stuck in my situation. And then in that sort of moment where I just thought, what could I possibly do? Katrina and I reconnected, and all I'd heard was from my mum that she is working with an amazing holistic product and program, and that, you know, really intrigued me, because that was something that was really aligned with my values. And then she also mentioned that she's, you know, working from home and just working her own hours, and created this amazing thing out of it in just a matter of a year or so. So I thought, this sounds really intriguing. I took a closer look at it. I watched an event just like this and thought it was a bit different, and in the same way I had my skepticism up, but it just felt so right to me when I heard all the stories, and when I found out more about the amazing product, I just thought, this is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for at the time. So when I started in the business, I set a goal for myself that I wanted to go back home this year for a friend's wedding, which is actually this weekend. So I set the goal that when it came to that time that I was coming back home, I didn't want to just go for 1 month, you know, the maximum amount of holidays that I could take in a full-time job. I wanted to be able to quit before then and just go as long as I wanted to. So I really got started in the business, and I really had this big dream and big desire, and being the hard worker and heart-driven worker I am, I just put my all into it. And it was really something that allowed me to grow into myself and really discover that this is something that did tick all the boxes for me, for what I was missing in my life and my career pathway. And I absolutely love that the work I do not only helps me live the life that I want to live, it's also helping other people. So I did reach my goal. I'm not working in my job at the moment. I'm now away on holidays back at home, and I'm working really hard at building my business while I'm seeing all my friends and family and traveling around. And after this, I'm just sort of seeing where the wind takes me. But it's just amazing to be able to have this tool at my fingertips, where I can create an income from anywhere and know that that's just limitless, and it's something that is completely down to how hard I want to work, and I'll always be recognized for my hard work. It's just absolutely brilliant, and I love that I get to show other people this amazing opportunity too.
Yeah, I know. How good is it? I think that's probably my favorite part, is that you don't do it by yourself. You get some awesome people who are also wanting something else in life too, especially if they're cool people. Like, you know, normally when you're in a job and you just kind of get slapped with anyone, sometimes you're really cool. Sometimes you get lucky, you get some really cool work peeps, but sometimes you don't get so lucky and you work with people that you just wouldn't hang out with in real life. This is really cool because you get to pick those people. So we're going to shoot on over to one of Lozzie's people right now, who is another beautiful UK Aussie convert. And we're going to hear a bit about her story too.
Hi, my name's Abby. I'm also, from Australia. I travelled here in February last year. Basically, I came overseas. I wanted to find myself. I wanted to travel, quite free-spirited like Lauren as well. And I think the travel ideal for me was that I would find my passions, I would grow, I would flourish, I would shine, and I'd figure out kind of who I was. So I travelled for a bit in Europe, and then I moved to London in June last year. And I did pretty much all of the traveller jobs that you could imagine. I firstly started as an au pair, so looking after kids. And then I did some bar work for a bit. And then the last one I did was a street charity fundraising job. And my reality wasn't really the fantasy that I had picked it would be. I was pretty much really, really cold. It was winter. It was freezing cold. I was in the streets, selling charity. It was the only job that I had the entire time that actually gave me enough money to pay my rent and pay my bills living here, which isn't the nicest thing when it's negative degrees and raining. So my life ended up being, I felt really, really alone. I felt really sad and unhappy. I developed a little bit of anxiety within myself, and just was really quite sad that I'd come over here and I'd tried to achieve some things that I thought would have just been givens, but ended up being a lot harder than I thought. So it was about February when I thought that I wanted to go home and then call it quits on travel, call it quits on everything, because I was like, no, I didn't do it. I can't do it. And then I shaped up, I changed my mindset, and I was like, no, Abby, you're going to do this. And then I started going back into like the application thing. So I started interviewing for jobs again. And then pretty much all I wanted at the time was, okay, I just want something indoors. I was just so sick of being wet all day long, standing on the streets. So I was like, my requisite was just to get a job indoors. And then as soon as I started interviewing for a lot of jobs, I realized that just indoors didn't resonate with me. And everything that was coming up that was jobs were just, I was getting a lot of interviews, but everything seemed like everything was capped. My pay was capped. I was restricted to the hours that I was working, whether that be Monday to Friday, whether that be shift work. It was restricted. My commute was like long. My everything was just restriction after restriction after restriction. And one of the other things was that I was applying for positions well under what I was capable for, just because of the hierarchy and the status that you have to climb to get to a certain point. So some of the roles I wanted were all the way up here, and I knew even if I did like spend 7 years in the job, I wouldn't even get to this point. So yeah, I really struggled just trying to find something that I even liked and wanted to do at that point. It'd be about a month or more that I was unemployed in London when I started really looking seriously into some things online, because I wanted to travel more and I didn't want to be so stuck in a job and stuck in a lifestyle or a habit or you know what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, I really looked into it. I explored a lot of avenues. I planned things. I drew things out. I sketched things. And in this month, I realized I was really leaning towards, okay, Abby, you're going to find something online and you're going to love it, as opposed to I need to get a really good standard job. So when I met Lauren, I connected with Lauren, who was just sharing before. She shared this with me, and I did a lot of research already, and I already knew these kinds of things were existing, and I kind of knew that it was sort of one of the paths that I wanted to take because I knew the potential for it. But meeting Lauren and understanding the products that we worked with really just was like, yeah, okay, that's me. Really resonated with me. I'm just going to do it. Show me how. And then basically what I didn't know is like I knew it would be an income, but what I didn't realize is what it would make me for myself. So the development that I've received personally, professionally, the amazing community of like-minded people that are scattered all across the world doing the exact same thing as me, and like we're all here to just bring each other up with something that made me kind of feel not so alone anymore. And of course my health just went from really bad to amazing, and basically, yeah, it's just transformed my life so far. I've been doing it for about 5 or so months or 6 months, I'm not sure, I've lost track. And yeah, the financial freedom is my goal at the end of the day, but the extra money every month is nice, but it's all the other stuff that I just said that's really made it hit home for me and help me. So yeah, I owe everything to Lauren and to Katrina and everyone at the Soul Project who's helped me so far. It's just been an amazing journey. So thank you.
You're so sweet. Don't say thank you to me, darling. Thanks for getting involved. That's beautiful. And you know what's cool too? Like these guys are in the UK. So I have like an Australian team and I have an American team and a UK team, a very large New Zealand team. We've got people in Dubai, and just like Abby said, it's the power of social media, because you can get a post to everybody across the world really simply. I don't want to keep you too much longer, guys, but I'm just going to quickly go through how we get paid, because I know for me, I had no idea, but it was something that I was interested in because I wanted to know how that happened before I actually got involved. So this way you can see how the girls are going to create some income, and maybe how it could help you or somebody that you know who might be struggling at the moment. So Juice Plus actually pays you 3 ways, which is way cooler than a normal job. But the way that they accumulate this money is by having a direct sales approach. So they don't waste money in overheads. They don't pay for things like billboards, celebrity endorsing, TV ads, you know, all that kind of crap that a lot of things do these days. They spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on advertising each year. What Juice Plus does is they keep all that money aside, all the profits, and instead of putting it into advertising to get more sales, they actually pay it to the customers who love it. And when us as customers share it with other people, we get paid a retail profit. So if I was to share it to my friend who says, oh my God, your skin looks amazing, what are you taking? And I said, I'm taking this new product, try it out. They would put money in my bank account for connecting us together. The cool thing about it is that we also get paid a performance bonus. Now, it's almost like a managing position, so to speak. So if you were in a traditional job, you would get paid, I guess, a salary increase because you're managing team. Same kind of thing, like when we look at the popcorn effect there, the more people that you help be successful. So you don't get paid on people unless you help them be successful. And I think that's so important because this isn't a recruiting machine. It's actually a helping machine. You actually get paid a team, a performance bonus. Now, this is eventually what we coin residual income. This is my 6-figure income that is like my security blanket for my children, because I've helped so many people create successful businesses that I'll now get paid forever. And that's something amazing. Nothing else could give me that security. And then we also get paid bonuses. Now, the bonuses are really simple, so I'm going to explain them tonight. But if you'd like to know more about these two, hit us up at any stage because we can definitely talk a little bit more in depth about how to get it running. So in your first month, we generally hit a promotion called SDVF, and it's a $400 bonus straight away. Remember, in these, this is 1/3 of the way that we get paid, so they do look pretty cool, but they are also only 1/3 of the way. Now, both of these girls, both Georgia and Kat, are so close to this one. It's pretty much knocking at the door. Hey, Georgia. But the cool thing about this is that when you hit a bonus, the person who teaches you also makes the bonus as well. So you're always going to have somebody who's invested in helping you. Now, see, they don't get paid unless they create a safe place for you to learn how to do this. And then they get rewarded. The beauty of that too is the next level is SC, which is sales coordinator. You hit SC, you get $600. You teach someone to hit SC, you get $600. Then we have SSC, which is the $1,200 bonus. $1,200 every time you teach someone. And these are exponential too. So you can teach 3 people to hit this in 1 month and give yourself almost $4,000 worth in bonuses. Then we have QNMD, which is a $1,500 bonus and $1,500 when you teach someone. And then we have NMD, which is our pinnacle position. It's a nice $3,000 bonus. But like I shared before, the bonus money is nothing by then, because in here, you're earning about $8,000 to $10,000 as a base residual income each month. And to me, that was life-changing. I shared before how we were pretty much in the red. I was trying my hardest. I was working really hard, and I still wasn't making ends meet, which is pretty much 90% of the Australian population. In this business, I struggled for years. Ever since I got out of high school, I did uni and still worked. And then I got into retail, and then I had my own job and I still worked. But in this business, I only spent 14 months going from a VF, which is a brand new little baby, pardon me, to NMD. 14 months. In just over 12 months, I'd created something that was making $100,000 a year. And to me, that was life-changing, and that is my favorite part of this business. So we've created the Soul Project now to try and help more people understand that traditional jobs are changing. Just like the way that we order our groceries now, just like the way that we do so much stuff, we go online. Jobs are transitioning that way. And the really cool thing is that a lot of us are still stuck in that old model that doesn't necessarily serve us. But for just the same amount of people who are stuck in it, there's just the same amount of people looking to find something new. And that's exactly what we've got. And that's exactly what these beautiful girls are going to be sharing. So if you do have any other questions, please hit up whoever shared this to you, whoever invited you to, if it's one of those beautiful girls who are launching, because we really would love to be able to help you, make sense of it. Or maybe it could be for someone that you know, if you've got a sister who doesn't want to go back to work after having her baby. If you've got a partner who's sick of working away, the amount of times I hear that one is crazy. We have probably a position here that can help you, and you can learn it through your own pace as well. Just to finish it off, I'm going to shoot on over to my lovely girl, Jose, and she's going to finish it up with another lovely story. And then we'll close on up for the day. You guys did awesome. Absolutely superb. Jose.
Hop out. No, I'm sharing. Hop out.
We got off mute.
Sorry.
You're right.
I've got my brother.
Thank you. Are you wanting me to do my business or product?
I just want you to share your story. I love your story because it makes me feel old, but I'm a little older than you. So you're in that beautiful, young, youthful generation. So share a little bit about what you've noticed since you started the business, babe.
Yeah, cool. So I've been part of the business now for just under 12 months, maybe just over 12 months. Before this business, I was a rundown 21-year-old, living on McDonald's coffee and hash browns every single morning to get by, and then energy drinks and junk food throughout the day. I entered independence really young. Sorry, I'm not sure if this is. I entered independence really young. So I took on a lot of financial debt at a really young age. When I turned 18, I was instantly drowning in debt. Banks loved me. But unfortunately, I hated myself. I had extreme, I had extreme anxiety and depression. I was working a full-time job, but 70 to 80 hours a week just to pay those loans back. I had no social life because of that. So I put myself in such a crappy position. I felt shit about myself. And my health was like my last priority. I didn't even think about my health. So when I stumbled across the products, they were just life-changing. I no longer have depression and depressive moods, and my anxiety is completely gone. I mean, sometimes you have a spurt of it here and there. Life isn't perfect, but these products definitely help make it that bit better. So I've been on the products for exactly 12 months, and I won't go off them. Like Kat mentioned before, we've got the shred, my first shred. I didn't even try to, but I lost 10 kilos just randomly. So my body was obviously not used to all this nutrients and goodness, and it was just like, give me more, and it just thrived. So going from no health knowledge whatsoever to actually paying attention to what I put into my body, it was actually making me crave healthy food. So I was like reaching for a salad over like a bowl of chips and gravy, which I was obsessed with. I'm vegetarian, so everything was just, chips, and that was pretty much it. Just potato in every form it came in. And there was no salads. So now I'm like a vegetarian that loves salads and, fruits and veggies. And this makes me want to eat more. It's taught me the importance of whole food nutrition on our body, which, we learn throughout the business. But it's also helped me teach other people. So, I've got, it's quite a new story because he hasn't been on them long, but no one would have heard this one yet. But my grandpa is 84 years old, so he's in a home, and I can tell you he's probably never eaten a piece of broccoli in his life, let alone any other piece of fruit or vegetable. And he was in a home, and all he was having was party pies and sausage rolls, and they were going, he's just really unhealthy, he's got to be on all these different medications, something needs to change. And I thought, Mum, try him on the chews. So we tried him on the chews, and the doctor they come into the home and they do their testing. So he's been on them for, I think, about 5 months now. And they were shocked actually to see how well he was doing. And he actually said to the nurse, so it's not like a massive deal, but they had like pumpkin soup. He hates pumpkins, but he ate pumpkin soup, and everyone was like, what the hell? Like, he's eating pumpkin soup. And I'm like, that's me. I did that. So they're awesome. I love the products and the business behind it. It's just, it's even better, but I won't keep you all too long. But yeah.
Oh, no, I love that. That's a good one. Good old Pop.
He's stubborn.
Yeah, I bet they all are. I swear they get to that age and they're just like, nah, I know better. I'll do it. But I'm so glad that you could help him, darling. That is awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing tonight. Sorry for those of you that I put on the spot, but you did amazing. Kat and beautiful Georgia, you guys are amazing. I think Kat's internet dropped out at one stage, but it was so beautiful to hear you share. Thank you to you guys. I know it's always a little bit nerve-wracking when you have to get on in front of people that you don't know, or people that you do know, but you're brand new at what you're sharing. So I really appreciate it. Definitely get your questions answered, guys. There's so many people that have no idea about the true beauty of this. So remembering that when you're talking to people. I know I got really excited when I jumped off my first event and I wanted to tell my dad about it, and he just shut me down so quick. He was like, it's one of those things that'll never work, and just, yeah, anyway. But here I am because I'm super stubborn. I'm pretty much like your pop, Josie. I was like, cool, you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to make it work. But that will happen. But the beauty of it is they probably just haven't seen what you've seen. And, you know, you can't really dispute that most of us are real. None of us are very perfect, but we do love what we do. And I think that shows. So if you've got any questions, get them answered. Get to one of the beautiful girls that invited you here today. And have a beautiful night.